It's time for Lazy Sushi with Miss Alicia. Let's start cooking. So today we're going to make ball sushi, nigiri sushi, and sushi rolls. So to make ball sushi, the first thing you're going to need is your cling wrap or your plastic wrap. So get a nice square of plastic wrap. And remember, when you're making sushi, the key part is pressure. And you can just lay that square of plastic wrap down, grab a piece of the sushi you want to use, lay it in the middle of your plastic wrap, grab about that much, I would say maybe a quarter of a cup of rice, grab all the corners of your saran wrap. I think you guys can see where this is going. Squeeze all the air out. Guess what this is? Ball sushi. You're just gonna let this refrigerate for a little while. Probably about 10 minutes will work. Come back, you're gonna have completed sushi, yummy and ready to eat. But let's see that one more time. So let's make 2 more pieces of ball sushi so you get an idea of how this works. Again, take your plastic wrap, make a square. If it sticks to itself, just unpeel it. Decide which of these 2 you want next. I think I'm going to go with the egg. I'm going to cut a nice beautiful slice there for my egg sushi. And if you have like a little burnt side, turn that towards the rice. The rice doesn't care. It can be a little burnt if it's towards the rice. It's just a brownness there. Again, put about a quarter of a cup of rice on it. Don't worry if it falls out strangely because this is lazy sushi and we can mold it. So pick up your ends, grab it, twist it, form it into a ball. Ball sushi. You notice how I twist it off. After I get all the air out, I twist it off. Ball sushi. Looks really cool. And now let's go ahead and do our shrimp. Let's go ahead and do our shrimp. So we're going to pull out a square. And we're going to grab a shrimp. Now, looking back, I thought I was supposed to split these before I blanched them, but apparently I was supposed to blanch them, then split them. But this is still going to work because we have a knife. And we can shape our food and we can actually pull it apart into what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and work with the curl of the shrimp and really work on that ball shape. Make like a yin yang with the shrimp since it curled up on me. Go ahead and grab another, oops, too much rice. I better pull back a little bit. And again, put that rice on top of the shrimp. And guess what we're gonna have? Ball sushi. Cute as can be, ball sushi. Again, stick this in the refrigerator for 10 minutes and you have sushi ready to go. Okay, so for the next nigiri sushi that we're gonna make, you just need your ice tray with ice cubes. Now you can do 3 rows, you can do 2 rows. It's up to you how you want to do it. Just make sure when you're pulling out your plastic wrap that you have enough plastic wrap to cover the entirety of your ice tray. So make sure there's enough space there. So once you get enough plastic wrap, cover your ice tray, go into each one of these, and if it's too short, and as you can see, I cut it too short. Oh no. Well, I guess what I'm going to have to do is save this for later when it's time to seal off mine. And I'm going to go maybe double the length of this before I try to put it in all the holes. Yeah, I better go even longer than that. Okay. Decide what fillings you want to do and how you want your sushi to look. In this case, I've decided that I want to have sesame seeds. Oh, it's sticking. I better put them on top of my little handy dandy holder there. I've decided I want sesame seeds on top of some of my sushi and not on others. And I'm just sticking my fingers in the holes to make sure that we have enough saran wrap. And I'm gonna start from the center. So again, I like a little bit of egg sushi. So I'm gonna cut the egg. And as you can see, I folded it over itself when I was making my omelet, and I have lovely layers. But you don't have to have layers when you go in here. So you can just take a little bit of the egg and stick it in the bottom of your ice tray. Take a little bit of shrimp, put it in the bottom of your ice tray here. And again, start from the center to make sure you have enough space as you build out so that you don't end up with empty plastic-free areas that you can't put sushi in. And continue filling in the holes as you go. Feel free to double up on your proteins if you want. If you want to have shrimp and salmon in the same one, that's fine. At this point, you can put cream cheese in there, onions, any of that stuff. As many layers as you like. And like I said, go ahead and feel free to decorate the top or the sides of your sushi however you think it might look cool. I'm just going to put black sesame in mine because I like the flavor of it, but I also like the look of white sesame. You might have to re-emphasize those holes. So you mix them together, and when they come out, they look really cool. So once you have put in all of the fillings that you want to have in the bottom, then you're going to pack the rice in on top. So just lay your meat right in there on top of your decor and make sure everything is pushed down really good, because the more you push it down, the more rice you can fit in. Then you're going to grab your rice and you're going to just spoon it up and pile it in on top. And again, if you want this to look more colorful, you can blend in those sesame seeds. You can add all kinds of nori pieces to this. You can add strips of nori if you want to have a more decorative top to these. It's up to you how you make your nigiri sushi. Sushi was a fast food that was served from carts. Fresh fish straight from the local bay was brought in, sliced up, and then put on top of a nice chunk of rice, and that was the first sushi. So once you have this tightly packed in, then you want to grab that piece of plastic that you had that covers the very top of this. Smush it down, because again, the key with sushi is pressure. Smush it down really good. Seal it up and refrigerate for 10 minutes. In order to make sushi rolls, you don't actually need a sushi mat. All you need is 1 or 2 lovely kitchen towels. Make sure they're not too thin. I felt like this one was too thin, so I doubled up. And once you've done that, then you want to grab your handy dandy plastic wrap. Yeah, plastic wrap is really key here, folks. And I don't know how big of a roll I'm going to make yet, so I'm going to go ahead and tear off a really big piece, because I am going to use as much of my sushi ingredients next, as much as I possibly can. Then I take out my nori, and I take out my sheet of nori and I put it down on top of the plastic wrap. Now, I'm going to make my sushi rolls nori lined. If you want, you can put a nice thin bed of rice down first, and then you can put your nori on top of that if you want to make a roll like that. But I want to make a roll that is nori on the outside, rice on the inside, and then put my ingredients in. So lay your nori down on your plastic on top of your dish towels. Again, you don't need an expensive mat. You can just use dish towels as long as they're thick. Now, if you're making a really long roll, you can go ahead and put down 2 sheets and attach them with a simple paste of rice. Just take some rice and paste it there. Now, since we're going to be putting rice on our hands, you want to make sure you have a bowl of water nearby so that you can make sure your hands are moist enough so that you can lay the rice out flat. Okay, so just wet your hands, not too wet because you don't want to have the rice just wet, but you want to make sure that the rice is not sticking to your hands. Grab a handful of rice and then just start flattening it, making sure you leave a little space along one edge that has no rice. About an inch, yeah, about an inch will do. So go ahead and lay out your rice on your nori. Again, make sure your items are cut to be thin and narrow. You can again cut cream cheese and put it in here. If you have ingredients that are being really rough, chop them up and add them to cream cheese and then put them in here. You can layer things just as you see fit. You can make things into very cute little shapes. It's okay because you're going to be cutting these up and they're going to be very cute. So if you have to help something get into shape a little bit, that's okay. Feel free to add whatever you like in terms of proteins to this. Add cut peppers. So if you have red or green peppers, you can cut them into narrow pieces and add them on here. You can add any type of veggie that you can find that you can shape into this that you want. As you can see, I am putting my salmon on. So go ahead and layer your pieces as you see fit onto your sushi roll. So I'm now going to add my marinated pieces of tuna on there. It just so happens to be done marinating. They don't need a long time to marinate. And it adds a little bit of sweetness to your roll. Then you're going to begin by just pulling this up. And if it didn't place well, you can always just tuck it down. It's okay. Just keep rolling it. Till you get to that end. You can use a little bit of water to help seal it. A little bit of water if that doesn't work. That rice water you have, you can always add a little rice to the end to seal it shut. So once you get it in that plastic, you've got it nice and tight. You might have a little squeeze out on the ends. Don't worry about it. Just get it nice and tight. And then you're going to be using your towels the same way you would use the mat. Again, sushi is pressure. You're going to tighten this up. Make it as tight as you can, like you're wrapping candy. Get it nice and tight. And then we're going to stick this in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes. My ball sushi is delicious. How about yours? Now, as you already know, experience mileage will vary with every recipe you do. But let's see how this looks. Perfect nigiri sushi from an ice tray. So you can just go ahead, take off your wrapping. So just take your sushi, put it on a plate, and you don't have to use chopsticks. I prefer to use chopsticks. And get yourself a nice little bowl. Put some soy sauce in your lovely bowl so you can dip your sushi in it. And get out your pickled ginger, because I love pickled ginger. And have a great meal. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut our sushi roll. It may not be perfect, it may not be great, but this is lazy sushi and we're making it to enjoy for our meals. And the end part always is going to look funny, but what you want to see is a nice cross section of yumminess. So when you look at that and you go, I could eat that, then you've got it. Will every cross section be correct and perfect? No, but as long as you can eat it and enjoy it, does it really matter? So basically all you need to make ball sushi, again, is plastic wrap. To make nigiri sushi, an ice cube tray and plastic wrap. To make sushi rolls, hand towels and plastic wrap. It's easy, you can do it. Choose the ingredients you like, make what you want to eat. See, it's not going to be that hard. You just take your time, watch the video more than once, and you too can make your own sushi. Go slow, add ingredients you enjoy. Decide if you want it sweet by using mirin and sugar, or if you want it sour by using rice vinegar and soy. You make your own sushi. You go ahead and decide what you like, gather your ingredients, and get started.